Welcome back. The Veterans Affairs Department dismissing more than 1,000 employees yesterday. A personnel move expected to save more than $98 million a year. The department plans to redirect all of those resources back toward health care, benefits, and services for VA beneficiaries. Joining me now is Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. Mr. Secretary, it's great to see you. Congratulations to you, and thank you for being here.
Good morning, Maria. It's good to see you as always.
I've got to tell you, veterans love the Veterans Affairs Department. My father was a veteran, and every time I said to him, Dad, go to this hospital, go to that hospital, we need better care, he would say, no, Maria, I'm going to the VA. He always wanted to go to the VA, and I should tell you that they gave him such an incredible funeral ceremony that I was so proud of him to have been a veteran. So I want to get your take on what needs to be done at the VA. How can you increase the quality while reshaping and improving the department?
Maria, that's a great question. What you just said about your dad, there's a whole generation especially that they depend on the VA just like they do right now. And we're here for all veterans on many generations. But as we look forward into this future, we're going to have to continue to raise the quality for especially our older veterans who are coming through the system now. But we got a lot of new issues with our younger veterans, myself included, the GWAT, as we call them, generation, the Iraq, Afghanistan, global war on terrorism veterans. As they're coming through the system, they're not as used to the older style of the VA, and they're also now looking at our community care program, which I helped pass when I was in Congress, that allows them the flexibility to get care in the VA and outside. What we've got to do right now, though, is we just got to sort of set the standard very high, make sure that we're focused on what our mission one, and I've said this from the day I stepped in and took the oath, mission one at the VA is the veteran. It's not the agency itself. The agency simply is the tool that we use to serve the veterans who serve this country.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because veterans are proud patriots. And that's who my father was, a proud patriot. He didn't want to go anywhere else. He wanted to be with the VA because he trusted the VA. Now, the White House says you will become the interim head of the Office of Government Ethics and the Office of Special Counsel. Well, the Trump administration reorganizes both agencies. How do you look at that in terms of reform?
I look at it as basically just making sure that in helping the administration have an interim head while we're getting a permanent head to both those agencies. Look, President Trump has come in and he has made very clear that this is a new day in Washington, D.C. And Maria, I've been here a long time. You've been in and out of the city. I've not seen this kind of reaction in the agencies. And also, if you want to know really where it's effective, look at those who believe that big government's the better option. The other side, the other party is yelling because all of a sudden the government is not the controlling entity. The people are, and President Trump, who won a mandate back in November to do this, is setting that standard. So for me, where I can help the department and help the administration, in these times that we're making sure we're getting the right people at the right places, that's what we're going to do.
So how did you decide who should leave? I mean, all of those people that were laid off or fired, however you want to look at it, what were the metrics that you used in terms of deciding how to cut staff?
That's a great question. The biggest metric we've had all along in this, whether it be the decision if they wanted to take the chance to leave the department on a retirement process, which was laid out by the administration, or in this, we scrubbed the list of all our employees, making sure that mission critical and front-facing workers were not eligible for that. They were exempt from this process. We exempted over 300,000 positions because we were not going to the changes we were made were never going to be infected to the point to where quality care at our health care, our benefits, and our cemeteries were not going to be affected. The veteran is only going to see higher care, they're going to see better care, but we're just going to do it more efficiently. So what we looked at was those areas where we could make that, as I think has been said before, we were looking at the areas to trim that make sure that we're still doing our mission so we can put more money back into serving our veterans. And so let me just say real quickly, there's a lot of misinformation going on out there. There's a lot of things coming from the Hill that and members of Senate and the House who are making statements like benefits are getting cut, all these other things. That's just not true, Maria. That is that is the fear factor here that they're trying to do to make sure that I think to interfere with their idea that the bigger government is the better. I believe a leaner, better government is what we need to look at.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that clarification, because it's really the Democrats out there, trying hard to criticize DOJ. And I want to get into where the waste is at the VA, because the department has canceled $178,000 in subscriptions subscriptions to Politico Pro. So this comes after the Trump administration revealed that the federal government paid over $8 million to Politico in subscription fees over the years. And this was part of this move from Elon Musk and Doge to look at all of these agencies to see where the money has gone. I mean, they also found that money was going to Reuters. I mean, why is money from the federal government going to media operations? Tell us about the VA and the Politico subscriptions.
Well, I'd love to, Maria, because this is the inherent part that is the unwritten secret up here in D.C. that nobody wants to talk about. It's the intertwining of newsletters and media that just get tangled up in agencies. And look, we're simply looking at it saying, as I go back to mission one is the veteran. How is the veteran served by $178,000 being spent on Politico Pro when if anybody in the VA wants to read Politico, there's a free newsletter that they can just put their email in and get it every day?
Yeah.
I'm for efficiency, so that $178,000 is going back to where it needs to be, and that is in our benefits and health care. But it goes back to a deeper sense, Maria, and that is the sense that it's a whole new, the Trump administration has brought in to a new perspective. What is the fundamental role of government? And our government, any part of our positions, is to serve the people of the United States. And if we're not doing that in the most efficient, effective way, then we're going to trim that out, and we're going to make sure that it's going, the tax dollars that people send in are going to the right places.
And what about job creation for veterans? What can you tell us about the agency working with the private sector? I'm always impressed when I see major banks or corporations saying we've got a VA program. We want to hire veterans. They come out of their service with massive discipline, with so many skills that actually can be applied to high-paying jobs in business.
Exactly, Maria. Look, this is something that the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and I have talked about, because I believe that our part of it and his part of it, from the beginning to the end, the veteran has a singular significant role in our society, and that is serving our country when they transition out of DOD, they transition into the Veteran Affairs, the VA side of it, and we're there to make sure that transition goes so they can continue to be productive. That's some of the most exciting things that I've seen. We have a lot of veterans who work in the VA, but we're making sure that they have the skills and the tools to transition to civilian life so that they can then be productive in their post-military career. And that builds up everybody. So again, this goes back to retention, it goes back to recruitment, and it goes back to the finalization of making sure that our veteran, for the service that they give, the benefits that they earn, are not going to miss a beat.
And anything you want to say about the veterans' hospitals and improving the care there?
That's going to be that's one of my biggest issues right now. It's one of the largest. Maria, most people don't realize that we're the largest non-military agency in the federal government. The VA is. We have over 470,000 employees, even with what we've talked about this morning. And the VHA, our healthcare system, is the largest healthcare system basically in this country. So we're looking right now to say, how can we use what Congress has given through the Mission Act, through our community care program, and our VA hospitals, our CBOCs, our clinics? Because and I've told this to the Senate when I was confirmed, I believe that VA care is VA care. There'll always be a VA system for the veteran who wants it, and there's always going to be VA care for what Congress has asked for, and that is the flexibility for the veteran to go into the community. No matter where it is, there's going to be a high standard for what we ask for our veterans care, because I've made it very clear, if you hurt one of my veterans, if you're taking my veteran, hurting them in health care, or you're not getting their benefits processed quickly, then you have no place in the VA, and we're going to continue to force that. So
you've got to manage this two-step plan of modernizing and getting certain areas of the VA better and in an improved situation while also cutting out waste. Are you expecting to work with Elon Musk and Doge to cut out more waste?
We are. I think the thing is this has been an administration, and we've talked about this. President Trump ran on this. We have a VA employee who is our Doge liaison who helps us look at these contracts. There's some more news coming here, Maria, that I think is going to be, people are going to be sort of stunned at what contracts and stuff that are just never looked at. The modus operandi in Washington, D.C. is just get along to get along. The next person hands it off, and we just don't ask questions. It's time we ask questions about the operations and how we do it, and does it fit the mission? That's what we're doing at the VA, and my person I have working in that is doing an excellent job of looking at it, while at the same time, and I want to emphasize this again for any of the detractors on the Hill or in the media, at the same time, it is not affecting health care, not affecting benefits claim. In fact, Maria, last week, I want to brag on our benefits folks for just a minute. They processed more benefit claims last week in single days. They were making records every day. We're doing what we need to do, and all of this that we're doing right now is simply putting the money back where it belongs.
All right. Great conversation, Mr. Secretary. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me this morning.